Imagine a civilization more advanced than ancient Greece. Older than Rome. A network of cities with indoor plumbing, grid-planned streets, and standardized weights across 1,000 miles. Then, in a single generation, gone. No war. No invasion. No record of what happened. This isn't mythology. This was real. And to this day, nobody can fully explain it. The Indus Valley Civilization, also called Harappan, stretched across what is now Pakistan and northwestern India. At its peak around 2500 BC, it was the largest civilization on Earth. Larger than Egypt. Larger than Mesopotamia. An estimated 5 million people lived in its cities and towns. And those cities were shockingly modern. Mohenjo-Daro, the largest, had a sewage system that wouldn't be matched in Europe for another 4,000 years. Every house connected to a covered drainage network. Public baths with waterproofing. Granaries with air circulation channels to prevent rot. They had standardized bricks, the exact same ratio of 1 to 2 to 4 across every city, hundreds of miles apart. Standardized weights for trade. A script that appears on thousands of seals and tablets. And here's what makes it truly strange: in over 1,000 excavated sites, archaeologists have found no evidence of a king. No palace. No royal tomb. No monumental statue of a ruler. Every other major civilization of the Bronze Age was built around a god-king. Egypt had pharaohs. Mesopotamia had its Lughals. The Indus Valley appears to have run a complex urban society of 5 million people, without a visible ruler. How they governed themselves remains one of the deepest mysteries in archaeology. But the bigger mystery is the ending. Around 1900 BC, the cities began to empty. Not suddenly, over a period of about 200 years. But the decline was total. By 1700 BC, Mohenjo-Daro was a ghost town. The great cities were abandoned. The standardized systems collapsed. The writing system disappeared so completely that, despite a century of attempts, no one has been able to decode it. There was no conquering army. The old theory that Aryan invaders destroyed the civilization has been thoroughly debunked. There's no evidence of mass violence. No burned cities. No battlefield graves. The people simply left. So what happened? The leading theory today involves a river that no longer exists. The Gagarhakra river system, sometimes identified with the legendary Sarasvati River from Hindu texts, once flowed parallel to the industry satellite imagery, has confirmed its ancient channels. And this river didn't just shrink. It vanished entirely, likely due to tectonic shifts redirecting its tributaries into the Ganges system. Without water, the agricultural heartland of the civilization turned to dust. The monsoon patterns shifted simultaneously, reducing rainfall across the entire region. The cities that had thrived on surplus grain suddenly couldn't feed themselves. But here's what makes the Harappan collapse different from every other civilizational collapse in history. They didn't fight over what remained. There's no evidence of social breakdown, warfare, or violent competition for resources. The people appear to have simply migrated, east toward the Ganges, south toward Gujarat, and integrated into smaller, village-based communities. They chose to walk away. A civilization that invented urban planning, standardized trade, and municipal sanitation 4,000 years before London, decided that cities weren't worth saving. They took their knowledge, left their buildings, and returned to a simpler way of life. The most advanced people of the ancient world looked at what they had built, watched the rivers dry up, and made a choice that modern civilization seems incapable of making. They let it go. We can't read their final words. We don't know their rulers' names, if they had rulers at all. We don't even know what they called themselves. 5 million people. 1,000 years of history. And all we have are bricks, drains, and silence. Perhaps that's the most unsettling thing about the Indus Valley. Not that they vanished, but that they chose to.